So in 1971, John Rawls wrote a theory of justice, which is basically one of the strongest philosophical defenses of modern liberal progressivism, uh, in which he laid out a theory of justice which is based on what he called the original position. And it's basically the idea that say you're about to be born, you don't know who your parents are going to be. You don't know if you might be crippled, poor, um, what race you're going to be, what sex, and so his position is what sort of society would you want to construct? And what he argues is that you would want to construct a society uh, in which looks after the least well off. Um, and what he's saying is he's not arguing for pure egalitarianism, because he argues that what else you would want in such a society is the opportunity to make something of yourself and achieve success in your life. So he wants to say that inequality is okay as long as it benefits everyone. And so he has this idea of the minimax principle, that society should be tailored so as to benefit the least well off. And probably the most famous response to Rawls, in fact, the two books are often read together in political philosophy classes, is Robert Nozick's Anarchy, State, and Utopia, in which he argues for a more libertarian form of government. And he lays out his theory of justice, which involves justice in acquisition, justice in rectification in case the first principle is violated, justice in holdings, and justice in transfer. And his argument basically is that as long as the first principle, justice in acquisition, is held up, then justice in holdings and justice in transfer will naturally follow through repeated applications. And so his basically said that that taking care of the least well off is not justified if it violates those four principles. Notice he thinks that if you earned your property, your money, then the government doesn't have a right to take that from you in order to give to someone else. And what I want to argue is that the two basic conceptions of justice needn't necessarily be in conflict. I've made two other videos about Henry George and his idea about taxing land values. And I think you can extend that concept to taxing what people take from the commons. And I think that's actually one of the problems with Robert Nozick, is that he disregards the idea of the commons. That often, the way property's acquisition is, you have some land or water or some natural resources that's held in common, and then someone fences it off for themselves and hoards it, and privatizes it. Is that just acquisition? I don't think it is. The person didn't earn that money. They didn't produce anything of value. They took something of value from the commons. And so I think actually fulfilling Nozick's second principle of justice and rectification would actually involve taxing what people take from the commons, taxing land values, taxing water usage, taxing pollution and carbon emissions. And using that money, you can help construct a more just society that fulfills Rawls's conception of justice. And in fact, and actually, you don't even need a lot of like big redistribution programs for that, because by simply reinstating the commons, you would already be attacking some of the root causes of poverty and making a more egalitarian society in the process. And so, I mean, of the two, I would still side a little bit more with Rawls, just insofar as it applies to current society. I mean, that I have sort of the ideal society that I'm striving for, and then sort of what's practical to do in this current economy. There are a lot of. I mean, I voted for President Obama in the last election, and there are a lot of things that I wish he would do differently, but a lot of them aren't politically practical. So anyway, I guess I'll leave it there for now. I guess my main point here is that the principles of progressivism and the principles of libertarianism needn't necessarily be in conflict if we try to think outside the box and look at things from a new perspective. All right, peace.